Hello everyone, this is Jesse with Platinum Pools. Today we're going to be covering pool etiquette, basically on how to take care of your pool. We're going to cover today the pool pump itself, your filtration system. Your filtration system consists of a couple different things. It could be a sand filter, it could be a cartridge filter like we have here, and then next we'd be covering the heat system. The heat system that we have on a lot of our pools is either gas or electric, and I'll talk about pros and cons to having both of them, either one of them, I'm sorry. Then we'll go into your salt cell. Basically, that is helping chlorinate the pool. So we'll cover all them basics, plus we're gonna go around a pool, kind of show you what to look for, what to be mindful of when you're taking care of your pool. All right, so now we're at the actual pool and the pool deck, and we're gonna look at three things here to keep mindful of. We have a skimmer, we have a sump pit. Them things should all exist on your fiberglass pool, and things to be mindful of when taking care of your pool. On this particular pool, we have an auto cover system, which is very nice because it keeps the chemistry clean, keeps the pool clean. But one of the things I want to mention, as you see over there to the right of the cover, there's a sump pump. That needs to be on the cover at all times throughout the year. I always want that on there. I want that. That's basically going to help. So any water that gets on there is going to be pumped off because that water can get really heavy. So now let's go over, if you'll follow me over to the skimmer, I want to show you kind of what that looks like. So as you can see, we have a skimmer here. You can look down and you can basically see there's a basket. That's something that you want to be looking at 2-3 times a week or whenever you're using the pool. Really easy to maintain. Basically just take that out and go dump any debris that's in there. That's one of the first things that you're probably going to be looking at your pool. So something to keep in mind. Now, if you follow me over, we're going to look at this sump pit. So this sump pit, as you can see, there's no water in it, so nothing to be worried about here. But we put these around all of our fiberglass pool and liner pools. Depending on how your pool is designed, if you have basically anywhere that we can discharge a pipe where we have fall from slope, meaning that we have a grade that we can run a tile out to get water from underneath the pool out, we'll do so. Otherwise, if we have a level lot, kind of like we're at now, we're gonna put this in, and then in turn, you're gonna put a sump pit down in here that's gonna pump the water out. So something to keep an eye on if you have this kind of pool and a pump in there. So always be mindful if there's water in there, you wanna get that submersible pump in there to get rid of that water and discharge. So that's pretty much it around the pool. I just want to make sure when you guys have an auto cover, you're cleaning the tracking system out. You know, if there's any debris that gets built up, it can basically make that cover get off track. It can slip, it could break a rope. So you want to check your tracking system probably on a monthly basis, making sure that's clean. Another thing to keep attention to is back here in the vault that houses all the fabric for the cover. It can get caught up with debris, leaves, sticks, a whole bunch of stuff. So you want to open that up probably on a monthly basis. Make sure there's not a lot of debris caught up in there because it'll make your auto cover really dirty. So that's all I would look at here. If you have questions, just call Platinum Pools. All right, now we're over at the pump system. On this particular pool, we have a VST Pentair pump. It's a variable speed pump, and the nice thing about these variable speed pumps is you can run them at different intervals throughout the day. So at lower RPMs, which in turn saves energy, which in turn saves money. They're really nice because we can program to, like at nighttime, run a little slower and speed them up during the day. So it's a really nice feature. If you come over here a little bit, I'll show you kind of what goes on. On these variable speed pumps, we have 3 different settings basically. I can program them to run at different intervals throughout the day. So on this pump, I'm going to show you basically how this thing runs. So right now I have a valve off. I'm containing all the in the pump itself. And the reason I do so is so we don't lose prime. When I mean prime, I mean you can see the water in the hourglass right here is up. If I would open that valve, it'll discharge all that water. It might take a little bit longer to get the pump running. So I'm going to kind of run through how I would do this. So I come over here, I hit the start button. I'm going to wait till this thing starts powering up. It takes a little bit. I'm going to go over here to this valve. I'm going to turn this to the on position. Once I hear this thing turn on, as you can hear it, it's turning on. I'm going to slowly open this valve right here. And as you can see, the water's going through the system right now. These pumps automatically go into a prime mode, and we can change that setting so it can run for longer or shorter period of time depending on what you have for a system, what you have for a pool, but it's all programmable, which is really nice. So I'm going to do this in reverse now. I'm going to shut this thing off. So I go over here, hit the stop button. I'm going to wait till this thing completely shuts off, and then I'm going to do it in reverse and turn this valve off. So now this thing is just cycling down, just about done running. Here I go to the off position. So what I want to do now is show you how to clean this filter out. Basically, this is a catch tray, and so as you can see, there's some debris. We just got done doing a little pool school on how to clean your pool. So you can see there's some debris, so I'm just going to knock this right here, get this cleaned out best I can. And then as you can see, this thing seeds down in there. If you look over here in the pump itself, you'll see there's a little inlet there where this thing falls down into. So you want to line these things up. So right there, it matches up. This gasket here is very important. We don't want air to go into the system. And so this gasket is important when we seal this down. So always be looking at this, being mindful that it's in there and seated in real nicely. All right, so I'm gonna put this lid on the top here, give it a couple cranks, nothing too crazy. And now I'm gonna hit the on button, the start button, I'm sorry. Go over to the valve, get ready for this thing to fire up, do the same process. And it's starting up. All right, so I'm gonna hit this thing to on. There we go. All right, so we're back to going. So that's pretty much it on the Pentair BST pump. All right, the next piece of equipment we're going to talk about today is a salt cell. This is a good addition to any pool that you get installed. The salt cell is really nice because it produces chlorine for you, so you don't have to add it, add shock every week. This does it for you, so it's really nice. And for this to run at optimal, you want to be around the 2000 RPM range for it to run at optimal speed. There's a little flow switch in there, as you can see this wire coming out. This kind of tells the salt cell when to run, so if you don't have optimal flow, the salt cell will not turn on. So the pump we had turned off just so you could hear me talk. We use Hayward and Pentair, both good products. That's the gist of the salt cell. To add the salt though, you're probably wondering where I do that. You just add it to the pool. And so we want to have 3,000 parts per million of salt for this thing to work at optimal range. All right, as you can see, the next piece of equipment that I'm going to talk about is your panel. This electrical panel is alongside all of your equipment that I've installed in any pool. And basically, it's your fuse panel for all your pieces of equipment. So if in doubt, if you don't know how to run something or are nervous about something, come over here and shut the breakers off. It's just a nice place to go if you're running into any trouble. And also, one thing to keep in mind with these is when you're shutting them, make sure they're locked so no water is getting in there. If you get some water in here or moisture, it can trip these breakers, and then we have a whole different list of problems. So if you have any problems or questions, contact Platinum Pools. All right, the next piece of equipment we're going to talk about is a heater. And not everybody chooses a heater, but if you do, you got a couple options. You can go with this heat pump, which is electric, or you can go with a gas heater. The nice thing about an electric heat pump is the fact that it's efficient, and we can put a chiller to it, so it's a really nice add-on if you want that. The nice thing about having a gas heater, unlike this one, is it'll run at any temperature. So in Iowa conditions, if you're wanting to run your pool longer throughout the season, a gas heater is the way to go. If you have any questions about your heater or how to run it, please get a hold of Platinum Pools. On a side note, also keep in mind, this thing also operates on flow. So if you do not have optimal flow, this thing will not turn on. So you need to make sure that your flow is nice and consistent. If you don't have flow, a couple places to look at would be your cartridge filter or your basket in your pump. So keep in mind, if this thing isn't turned on or it's having a flow error on here, you want to be looking at them two things to see maybe what the problem is. All right, the next thing we have is your heater. We have two basically different kinds of heaters that we can run on your pool system. You have gas and electric. This is an electric heat pump. And what's nice about it is it's really efficient. And so if you want some efficiency, I'd say electric heat pump is the way to go. Also, if you want to chill your pool, these are super nice because you can add these to the heat pump. So it's super nice add-on. When you add the chiller, you can cool the pool, you can heat the pool. It's really nice. If we use a gas, the nice thing about gas over electric is it will basically run at any temperature. So if you're wanting to run your pool all year round in Iowa conditions, a gas heater is really the direction to go. But we chose an electric heat pump for this specific install, and that's pretty much it.